Hello, and welcome back to me talking to my laptop camera about whatever. Today, I wanted to kind of focus in on a little bit of my YouTube experience and a little bit about the Wondershare, Filmora nonsense going on, and just a little catch up. It has been a while since I have been live, and I really missed it. Some things happened that kind of caused me to take a step back and think about just, I don't know, the YouTube experience and what that is like when you don't have so much of an audience and things like that. There have been a few times where I've kind of stepped back from YouTube and from the live streaming portion specifically, and just wondering if I should continue or not. And I find that every time that I step back, I miss it. There's a part of me that just misses it, and I haven't been doing live streams lately. I've been trying to make more, I don't know, more edited video log type videos. I had been wanting to post more nature type videos, so I started posting some snails, which are probably my favorite animals, I would say. One of the top anyway. Snails, turtles. I guess I just like this little slow guys. And so I just started posting some other things just to try and my channel's a bit of an experiment. It's kind of, I don't know, me playing around with a few ideas. So I guess I'm just going to keep doing that. And I find that being away from live streaming, I just don't want to fall out of practice with sort of, those sort of in the moment sort of conversational skills, improv skills. I just want to try to keep them a bit sharp or sharper than they would be otherwise. So, YouTube experience. I wanted to talk a little bit about what it feels like. It's funny because I actually, another creator that I befriended on Instagram, I noticed they were also doing live streams. And so recently I just decided to hop into a few just to see what the experience was for them. And I don't know, I found it very interesting. Just to have a small creator with a sort of like small following of people, but like actively chatting, I don't have the like streaming setups and stuff like that. I have considered getting some software, and I might have to try that out and just see what I can get figured out. Because like my computer had a hard enough time just getting this live stream to go. It kept disconnecting when I was setting up, and I was a little bit nervous about that, but hey, it seems to be working okay anyway, I think. So maybe I'll see if there's some sort of like lightweight streaming software that I can use, and then I could maybe like do stuff like other streamers do, because I normally just sit and I just talk to the camera. Just, I don't know, because that's just what I want to do. That's the thing, is my channel is kind of just an outlet for myself and a space where I can kind of try to build my business up from once I focus in better on the creative aspects of what I'm doing. I mean, I'm a writer, I freelance, I really enjoy it, and I've just always wanted to, I don't know, be a part of the YouTube scape. I've always loved YouTube, but I've never felt entirely like um, I wasn't sure if I could do it or what I would do. But every time that I stop, so I did make a YouTube channel in, when was it, like 2017, 18, something like that. And it was a audiobook. I was reading audiobooks, but my laptop was destroyed by a particular individual, and all of the files went along with it. So then I kind of just stopped that project for a while, as I didn't have a computer, and yeah, that was a whole thing. Then 2020, I decided that I was going to try to have a YouTube channel again. Only this time, instead of, hiding behind public domain books, I would just put my personal thoughts out there, put myself out there, was what I kind of figured I would do with that. So, also, my neighbors decided they were going to get noisy right before I started the live stream, which always happens. I hope you can't hear that, but if you can, I live in an apartment, so it's just how it is. It's just how it's going to be. Yeah. So, all right, transition. Yes. So I witnessed the way that this person was, this friend of mine was doing their live stream, and I thought it was very professional, gaming, all kinds of stuff, gaming, some art, and I was like, oh, this is cool. And it was interesting to be on that sort of like, there's something very like intimate about small creators when they first are doing live streams. I think it's like really hard to start live streaming and to break into that landscape unless you've already got some sort of following. I think it's really, really hard because it gets to be this very intimate experience where it's just like you talking to the other person. There's this intimacy level that I think can be a bit of a challenge as compared to, say, a live streamer who gets like a few hundred or thousand even people in the chat. Then it's much easier to just like pick and choose what you want to respond to and what you don't want to respond to. But when it's very small, it's much more obvious if you're just choosing not to respond. So it's a bit of a challenge. So I had seen that. And then another political commentator, kind of a smaller one, like Luke Beasley. When he was first starting his thing, his live streams were very much the same, where I did appreciate the way that he was very engaging with sort of the viewers, though, which I thought was good. And so I've been trying to learn tips and just see how other people do it, just see how they do it. And yeah, I don't know. It's been a very, I don't know. It's been very enlightening to kind of notice. It is intimidating. Oh, here's my neighbor. It is intimidating because of how intimate it is, But luckily for me, I did have like the one commentator was saying how sad it is when nobody shows up to the stream, especially if you bring a guest on and then nobody shows up. But I guess that in my experience, being a small, and I mean quite small YouTuber, I actually don't so much mind that. I don't know. I guess I don't so much mind if people aren't here for my live streams, because I can just talk about what I want. And if people want to watch this after the fact, I mean, they rarely do. But if they do, can do it. Can see what I've been up to. So, yeah, I don't know. There's something about being, but here's the thing is it does get a little bit disheartening when you try to make videos and you're just trying to put yourself out there, and there's something almost like a relief, as I was mentioning, about maybe not being seen, maybe not having anybody pay attention. There's almost a relief factor there. So that's something that I've been kind of facing, is it's like I kind of I like putting my stuff out there, but then I started envisioning like, oh, what if people actually found my content? What if people started watching this? What if people sat down and watched this live stream after the fact? How would that be? I mean, I have a hard time picturing that or thinking that anybody would want to do that. But when I do consider, because the thing is like I've done it, and I've even like followed like small YouTubers, and in fact, it's something that I've been enjoying doing a lot is seeing other small channels, what they're doing, and yeah, just how they do things. You know, sometimes checking in to see further growth, things like that. There was this one channel that was a new channel that just started like 6 months ago or something like that, and I saw that he had posted a video. I can't remember who it was, but it was like the loneliness of being a YouTuber, and I was kind of like, ha, you think you're lonely? You've only been here for 6 months. What do you think about us doing this for years on end? with with no views. So that's why I think with YouTube is if you're going to do it, it has to be for reasons other than views and getting seen, or else, because if that's all that it's about, then I mean there's a chance that you might, hit the algorithm lottery right off the bat if you know what you're doing and just made the perfect video. I mean, it has happened, but more likely than not, there's going to be a bit of a growth period. But I guess I do actually think, though, that it's not totally random, at least in my research and kind of experience thus far. It's not. It's not random. The algorithm is actually quite smart. I learned a little bit about, I mean, nobody really knows how it works, but I did watch a guy who seems very much obsessed with figuring it out or trying to, and running a lot of channels through data and things like that. And it does seem like the way that YouTube works is by like testing your videos out with like different groups and seeing who responds and what they respond to. So I kind of get the sense that YouTube is kind of always testing. There's like such a huge audience group out there in YouTube. So I kind of get the sense that it's always like searching, It's always like trying to find your audience and who's responding. It's like, this is why you hear sometimes from people who are like, I've been posting for like 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, several years, multiple years, and nothing. But then all of a sudden one day, one of my videos just hit the algorithm in such a way that caused an avalanche, and then everybody started binge watching my videos. Now, I've heard that story from quite a few YouTubers, many of which who have been at it for multiple years. I've even heard the advice, like, make your first 100 videos, then just see where you're at. And I'm almost at the 100 video mark, okay? And I can say without a doubt that there is actually like some sort of a logic to the system, and that you kind of figure it out a bit more as you go. So yeah, my channel is very small, but I have experienced over the past few months, I have experienced genuine, and I mean in YouTube itself, in the website, in the app itself, like organic growth, because most of my initial sort of followers were mostly people that I kind of got to come see from my other social media, like mostly Instagram is probably where the one where most of them came from, and just friends and family, whoever wants to watch. That's where most of my follow and watches were coming from. But then I noticed over the past several months, I kind of noticed a shift where when I came back and I started posting new things in new formats, I kind of noticed all of a sudden my videos have been getting organic growth, like organic impressions and watches just from people browsing the site. I actually have like analytics now that I didn't have before. So it's very exciting to me. So it makes me want to continue. Because and even from other experts would say that, you know what, there is like a way to make the system work for you, you know. I've also heard a lot that more like vloggy or less focused type channels do have a harder time, which is kind of what my channel is. And I know that, which is why I've considered trying to niche down a little bit, though there is some kind of, nobody, I mean, well, okay, yes, nichifying will help, though I'm not sure it's 100% necessary. If you can kind of establish something that's your own, I don't think you have to necessarily be niched down to one subject. So I think it does help. So I've been considering what to do about that, and even what direction to even take my channel, really. And I don't know. One thing that I definitely wanted to talk about is, okay, self-help type stuff, or my experience with it. Not in a guru-esque kind of way. In fact, I would like to be almost like the anti-guru, if that makes any sense. Because you know what? My life is very different than it was a few years ago. Back before the pandemic, I was like working events, working the local newspaper. I was just like all with the city folk in my city, you know. I was really like out there doing this thing, and I was, vibing with these like new agey sort of communities, you know. There's a really interesting sort of like underground scene to Salt Lake City. So it was very fun to be kind of a part of that. But over the past years, with the pandemic and all of that stuff, my life took a very sharp shift because everything shut down, and events, which was like one of my main gigs, kind of shut down, and I stopped going to the office. And it allowed me some time and some space to kind of realize that although we've been working, getting a degree, finally breaking into marketing and writing in the field in a way that I wanted to, and I was really excited about being a part of the event scene in my city, and helping the news get out there. I found that in an instant, I was furloughed from my positions indefinitely until things got figured out. And as I took a step back, because the thing is, before then, I had like no days off because I was always working events. So it was like if I wasn't working an event that day, that weekend, I was also in the office in the day. So it was like, okay, evening, sometimes in the day to event. And then in the evening, I would just, I would go to the events, and then in the day, I would be in the office. So that's how it used to be. The pandemic came and kind of washed my old life away, in a way, you could say. And from that point on, I really did start to kind of follow, because I had already made my YouTube channel, but that I wanted to start posting to, but I just didn't have a lot of time. I didn't have a lot of like, I don't know, desire to do it. Or I did have a desire. it was the confidence that I lacked to do it. I just didn't have quite the confidence to do it. But I kind of, once the pandemic hit, I decided to push myself in a direction. I self-published a thing of poetry. I focused on trying to like figure out how to build an audience on social media just for free, just organically. And I think I did have some success with that. I mean, it has taken me years of work. And okay, if you look at my numbers right now, you'd be like, oh, you've made Yes, I have made progress. You know what? To go from nothing to what I am now, it's something. But that's why I say again, I think you have to have other reasons if you're going to continue to post things on the internet. And I guess I'm trying to figure out what is my core central reason, because self-expression is really the reason. It's really the reason that I found for doing this, is that I want to talk. I just want to talk. I just wanted some place where I could talk about ideas and just express them and try and build some sort of, I don't know, internet persona. I don't know. Or I guess not even a persona as much as just like a personal platform, somewhere where I could just talk about my life and whatever I wanted to. And put my art out there and say, hey, I'm doing things. Check it out if you want. So I've been working on that. And yeah, I'd say yes, the story, looping back around. So this is why my live streams go so long. This is why it's probably better to edit videos as I have been. So, okay, new life, new way of being. I start freelancing. I find that I like it a lot. I like not having to talk to people all day, because that's the thing, is I've always been kind of an introverted, somewhat reserved individual, but I wanted to be a part of things, though, is I was determined to push past those personal limitations and just be a part of the world, be a part of the city, be a part of the art scene. And I dove in there. I guess that I did know that it was kind of harming my health after a while, and kind of being away from it for a while caused me to realize that. And I was like, oh, I see. I guess I must change my lifestyle so that I am less drained all the time. And that's what I've done. But it's just the next thing, and where to focus myself, because there's this part of me that really, 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 really wants to critique new agey, sort of like, I don't know, law of attraction-y type stuff, as a person who has been experimenting with those ideas for several years now. Here's the thing, is I think there is something to it, but also there's a lot of BS out there, is what I've learned, especially over the past few years. My life has really, really, really shifted over these past few years with the pandemic and all that. And one of the biggest ways is I just started to be a little bit more critical of a lot of the like new agey, manifestation-based sort of rhetoric that there is out there. And I don't know. Do I feel like I've manifested things in my life? Do I feel that way? Yes, I feel like that. But at the same time, it's not like it just came out of nowhere. Everything has kind of built upon things that I did before. Everything that I have manifested or accomplished was built upon my own works, is the thing. And so it hasn't been too often where things have just kind of magically appeared, though perhaps part of it is that idea of like luck, where opportunity meets preparation, that kind of idea. So maybe it's like that. I don't know. I really kind of want to talk about that stuff, because the thing is I have listened to a lot of new age / self-help gurus and read a lot of books and seen a lot of YouTube channels, like a lot. And I used to just eat that stuff up and be like, yes, give it to me. Get better, achieve, heal your shadow, all that kind kind of stuff. But now I kind of look at it and I have a different perspective. Like going through the pandemic and just seeing the way that different people handled things did kind of, you could say, open my eyes to some issues with the New Age crowd and their philosophies. So I've just been kind of on a journey ever since of being like, oh no, what do I know? What do I believe? And it's really hard because also a lot of my social fabrics and structures kind of went away with my old life, with the event scene, which kind of has a built-in sort of social structure to it. It's like once you're a part of it, it's like you're part of the event crew and you like know people and they know you. And it's actually quite nice. It's kind of a fun position to be in, even though it is quite exhausting. It's quite exhausting and the pay could certainly be better, but it's a lifestyle and I do miss it sometimes. I do. I don't know, perhaps one day I'll try to reemerge in some way, but for now, still in healing, personal, business, cocoon, creation phase thing. Yes. Yes, that. So, yeah. I'm trying to decide if I should try to niche down because I have some videos that I've made, you guys, that I've recorded about my spiritual journey. Like basically, I have all these journals with all of these experiences and poetry and art and stories and things that I've written over the past 10 years is really when I made that like one of my life projects is just like always be writing in a journal. 2013, because the thing is my whole life, my whole life, I've always liked journaling. I've always had like a diary or something, or at least a spiral bound notebook to write just gobs of just angsty teen poetry and stuff. And I've always had that kind of thing as an outlet. And so but really in 2013, I said to myself, no, let's like really take this seriously. Let's open it up, and cause I was overthinking it. And so I just was like, have your blank book, write whatever you want in it. And that's kind of what I did. And ever since I've just been writing and writing and writing. And I've been having this like strange personal journey through meaning, through life. And I kind of want to talk about that. I don't know and I kind of would like to talk about my new way that I view things, but it's still, the thing is I feel like, do I know enough? I don't know. I feel like I've been learning so many new concepts and I just don't know if I have all of the right ideas yet. That's part of the, I don't know, this part of the struggle, this part of what makes it stressful, I guess. But maybe that's what I need, though. Maybe I just need to do it. I would like to get some conversations going on both sides and I'd like it if people would tell me like why they think, magical ideas are BS. And I'd also like to have people be like, hey, well, this is my experience with it, I don't know. Maybe I can create a platform for that, but also at the same time, I've kind of put off talking about that kind of stuff for a long time because it's quite silly. Because that's the thing is I thought about making a YouTube channel for a long, long time. And I was like, I should talk about spirituality and like self-help stuff. But now that I've become a bit more critical of those, I don't know, modalities, of those ways of interfacing and connecting with the world, I'm glad that I didn't, is the thing. Is I'm glad that, because I always find that people who believe most in magical ideas are the ones who are selling it. So I guess that I was never certain enough to like just full on put myself totally on the law of attraction YouTube train. So I like it's like something that I'm really interested in though. It's like those is the culture around it and just those ideas. I have a lot of curiosity about what portions of it could potentially have some grounding in reality and what are just, grifting nonsense, So I wanted to talk about that. I don't know if I will or I should, or if I'll just keep talking about whatever, but it's just an idea. Okay, next topic. Those are just some ideas, so we'll see what I do. And if I ever post my spiritual journey journals, I am nervous, but then maybe I should post the thing that I'm nervous about. I don't know. I was kind of going through some of. Hey, do you guys know Amelia Fart? Well, I haven't watched her videos in a while, but I kind of went back to some of them recently. And I have a real admiration for Amelia, and her kind of style of YouTube is kind of almost something that I've been wanting to try to do as well. But I don't know if I want to be, if I could be, if I should be as like vulnerable and open in that way. I think there is some kind of magic to that, but is it correct? I don't know. Then you just have to deal with the thought of your vulnerable self being out on the internet, but I guess I already am, so I don't know. How much more vulnerable do I want to go? Or is it better to do something else with it? Because all I know is that when I don't do YouTube and I don't do Instagram and I don't make my creations, I feel sad. Like I don't feel as good. But right now, doing this live stream and like adding to my channel day by day, it has really, I don't know. There's something about it that makes me feel better. There's something about it that's just really fun. So I got to keep doing it. I don't know. Maybe this is what they call following your heart. When you have something that, and something inside just tells you to do it and just keep doing it, even though it seems like you don't really totally understand why you're doing it. You just want to. Maybe this can be like that. I don't know. I've been doing some law of attraction experiments though. So that's another thing that I kind of wanted to do was like just try some totally non-scientific, like testing out sort of the law of attraction ideas and things like that. I don't know. I've been documenting some things, so I just might have to do that. Just might have to. I don't know. All right, so next, Filmora. So my video editor of choice, Filmora. Filmora Wondershare. Well, you know what? What happened the other day or weeks ago? I opened up Filmora. I was editing some videos and a little update thing popped up like it often does. This time, however, when I looked at it, I was like, something different is going on here. Because I was just scrolling down through the updates and then I noticed at the bottom it said, extra charges may apply for this update. And I remember when I saw that, I thought that was weird because I was like, wait, I thought that what I purchased was their lifetime membership, which offered every upgrade for free. Or just the lifetime span of your using of the product, I guess. I guess lifetime sounds like forever, but who knows what the technicality is on that. I've heard that it's considered like 25 years or something, like in legalese, that's considered like the lifetime of a product, but I don't know. Who knows? So what did I do? I see this new update and I'm like, this is weird. This is different than it usually is. Normally you just get the upgrade, you do the thing, you restart your freaking computer, whatever. That's good. But this time, something in my gut was just like, okay, I really need to edit a video right this second. And I don't want to have to go through the whole update reset nonsense. Also, what's that thing it said about extra charges? I might hold off on that for a minute. And you know what? Lo and behold, I'm very glad that I did that. Because then over the next few days, I started seeing this uproar on YouTube about Wondershare, Filmora, and their lifetime membership lie. And a bunch of people talking about how they like updated to Filmora 12 and they got, and now they have to pay they had to pay for that, and then they're going to have to pay for every update after the fact. And I was like, oh, I see. And I was like, well, it looks like I might just be sticking with Filmora 11 for now. Though I did also hear that they changed that. I don't know. That they decided to not do that. That's kind of what I heard. Is that the backlash of people being mad about, their whole false advertising lifetime of free, upgrades. I heard that because of that, they kind of reversed it and they weren't going to charge anymore for the upgrade. I tried before going live just to see if the thing would pop up again so I could see exactly what it said. But this time the update pop-up didn't even pop up, and it's been popping up every single time that I've been editing lately, and every time I've been like, no, especially after I found out about the freaking expense. I was like, oh no, you aren't going to do that. I will keep my lifetime. I will keep Filmora 11 and I will keep my lifetime membership. Okay. Until I don't know, I guess I'll have to go with a different video editor at some point, I'm sure. Maybe I'll go do the Adobe one. It's been a minute since I've used that, but I just really liked Filmora because it's just very, I don't know, it's kind of lightweight, it's kind of easy to use, and it's user-friendly. And I really like Filmora. Like, I really, really like it. I think it's a very good sort of like, simple editor, it's good, and it's got a bunch of like you can purchase stuff, or you can just use stuff from their library, and I just thought that was kind of nice. But I don't know. I did want to add to the conversation with other things that I've heard, though. So I don't know if they're still going to be charging, if they're going to be refunding people. I don't know if I'm just going to stick to Filmora 11 for now, but I also had heard that they're maybe not the best company to support anyways, just because they create other products is the thing. Wondershare, besides Filmora, they have other apps and programs, one of which that I heard about is actually I watched a video about it. Maybe I'll find it and post it in the description or something. But the guy was basically talking about how one of their products that they sell is actually a scam. So it's this, you drop your iPhone in some water, you got some like water damage. Supposedly they have some software that will fix water damage on your phone. So that's what this product that Wondershare also claims to do. Only problem there is, guess it actually doesn't do that, though. Turns out it doesn't actually do that. Turns out, according to this video that I watched, it was a video from a person that I'd never watched before, so I can't quite remember. I think his name is Luis, maybe. But it just popped up because I was interested in the Wondershare stuff. So the algorithm gave me that. And so this critique was talking about how if you have water damage on your phone, then this is, in most cases, a hardware issue. And you must send it in. You got to get somebody to look at it because the damage will corrode the actual physical hardware. what this software claimed it could do is just fix the water damage just from a distance, just digitally through software. But what will actually happen is if you continue to use your phone when it's water damaged, then the heats can interact with the corrosion in such a way that furthers the damage, meaning that it could, if people were to continue to use their damaged phone, to download this software and use it, they would actually be damaging their phone even more by using their phone when it was in a corroded state and then making that corrosion worse. So apparently that's a product that they sell for a couple $100, and it has no reason to help anybody. Like it's just not how it works. So, okay, this is making me think maybe Wondershare isn't the most honest company around. So, I don't know. Maybe I should stop using their products or their product is something that I've kind of been thinking. But it's really bugging me because I really actually like their product, and they have a little, creative cloud thing where you can switch between file formats and turn an MP3 or a video into, say, an MP3, or you could change it to a certain other kinds of compressed file formats, and it was nice, I thought. But now I'm wondering if I should do something else. So there's some more information about the Wondershare Filmora stuff. Hope that helps somebody. I don't know what I'm going to do, but there you have it. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? I won't go terribly forever long just because I just wanted to go back to doing this. And now that I'm doing this, I do feel good. I feel better. But yes, I wanted to... Oh, yes. Another thing, I guess I'll just talk about little life update and stuff. I don't know. I had a while where some pretty stressful things were going on in my life. And I don't know, I've had some weird interactions since I've started posting some of my content and things online. And I don't know. It gets a little scary. Sometimes it can be a little scary. I'll just, I don't go into it, but there are certain things that just make me wonder do I really want to be an internet person? I seem to not be able to help myself, though. It's basically all that I think about. It's like adding my legacy to the internet, it's like we only have so long to live. So I guess I figure might as well put yourself out there. I mean, why not? But yeah, also I went through just a bit of a phase where I just wasn't feeling very well, and I kind of stopped eating, and I kind of stopped sleeping for a while because I was just so immensely stressed out, and I just wasn't feeling very good, and it became kind of a struggle. My hair started falling out quite a bit. My autoimmune condition, my alopecia started acting up, and I'm actually wearing a wig today just because I got this wig and I think it's really quite nice. And I don't know, I just haven't really worn it too much. And I've been feeling a bit self-conscious about just the hair loss that I've experienced. And so I don't know, maybe I'll have to jump back into wig life. I kind of did that for a while where I would just switch between wigs. When I was out in the event world in the city, I would just switch between wigs a lot. Then you don't even have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the state of your hair. You can have different hair every day. So I don't know, maybe I'll start playing with that a little bit just to, I don't know, maybe it'll help my confidence a little bit as I've been kind of going through various life shifts lately. So, okay, talked about a little bit about the YouTuber experience when you have a small audience and how interesting and intimate and intimidating that experience can be, but how it's like, I don't know, once you start, you just kind of want to do more, I think. Also, let's see, talked about Filmora and how I avoided upgrading to their scam of a not so lifetime system after all. How maybe this company that I really liked, maybe I shouldn't be using their product anymore. I don't know. I'll have to look into that, see what they do after this uproar. I'm just sticking to the 11 lifetime for now. We'll see how that goes. Next thing. I guess I just kind of wanted to talk about those things mostly. I have some notes here. I have to write things down. Yeah, maybe I'll try getting some stream software so that, because right now my stream, it is very intimate, and it's just basically kind of me talking just to my laptop and maybe you, if you say something back. But let's see. Yeah, so I might try that. So that way I could maybe pull up some sort of stuff that I've been looking at lately, or maybe if I wanted to start talking about sort of critiquing or exploring rather the sort of law of attraction, manifestation, self-help ideas, I could actually pull up clips and things and actually talk about and my experience with it and the ways I think that it perhaps has worked, but also is also probably a little bit of a scam a lot of the time with a lot of self-help gurus, but there is something to it. But there are also issues there as well. And I would like to be able to talk about those things and maybe I was thinking, because I did have the podcast idea where I was, here's the thing is I filled up my notebook with lots of podcast ideas. I overwhelmed myself. I constantly do this. I come up with a million ideas and then I get confused about which of them I should actually act upon and what I should do. So I don't know. I feel like if I focused on that kind of stuff, it could maybe give me, because I was thinking of going through some of my the Untethered Soul and such sort of self-help spiritual woo-woo books and just see what my new sort of reaction is as somebody who has used the techniques that a lot of these people talk about of visualization, cognitive therapies and things like that. But I have a new perspective now. So I don't know. Maybe I'll do that. I'm not sure. Things that I've been working on. Of course, I always got to talk about my journal when I'm on. Let's see. I got a new, this is kind of my design for, I haven't you see the shine? I haven't posted the actual flip through on my Instagram yet. I need to do that. I just need to edit the pages, but here's my title page at least. I wanted to show you so you could kind of see the kind of sheen going on. Kind of it's like a poem thing. Quotes. Let's see. The poem that I wrote over here is one of a 4-part poem that I actually wrote. Because here's the thing, is I said to myself, I was going to create a very simple theme this month so that I could just start using my journal again and actually focus and actually be organized again. Because the thing is without this, I don't know how I get things done. I really need it. It's one of the things that have made the biggest difference in my life is just my bullet journal. It's just my journal and just writing down everything I need to do. And when I don't do it, I get kind of I feel like I'm floating in the ethers and I don't know what to do about it. But anyways, okay. one of the poems that I wrote. And then I started overthinking it because I was like, keep it simple. And then I was like writing this poem. And then I was like, oh, but I want to write something else. And I end up writing a bunch of poems. And I'm like, great. Now I gotta like edit and like post and like do all the stuff with all of those poems now. I just haven't done it yet, but I will. I've partially done it. It's just not, it's not done to the point where I've posted, but I will. Let's see, this poem goes, the equations work backwards and forwards, but reality can never be unstirred. Iterated algorithms, fractals expressed in a glass, or else chaos. I guess just thinking a lot about like that, the ideas of entropy and chaos and order, and thinking about our world and how it just seems to be getting ever and ever more chaotic, which is one other reason why I feel like just add to the creations out there, you know, just do it. There's only going to get more. So if you want to make something, why not just do it? Just add to the twisting, chaotic pile of stuff. Just do it. I mean, why not? It's kind of what I'm figuring anyway. It's like, yeah, your one life, just put it out there. Just do it. Just do it. But I do worry, though. I worry that things might be hitting some sort of entropic chaos moment in time that perhaps we can't like recover from. I don't know. We'll see. All right. But the image of, okay, so there's this play called Arcadia by Tom Stoppard. And there's this kind of motif kind of woven through these ideas of chaos versus order and the way the pieces kind of come together through time. And they talk about, two of the main characters talk about, describe that idea with rice pudding and jam. So basically, you put some jam in the rice pudding, you stir, and then you can never unstir. Once the two are together, they are forevermore. And so I kind of took that idea, only I was thinking of like a coffee, like an iced coffee. You know how you can put the milk in and it will kind of sit on top where there's this sort of like stratification of the coffee, where there's the coffee bottom and then you can get kind of like the milk floating on top a little bit. So it was basically that idea I was kind of playing with, of how it's somewhat separated at first, but then you stir it and you can never unstir, that kind of idea. That's kind of the idea that I've been thinking of, is it's like, once you've started something, you can never unstart it. You can never undo all that has been added within. And I kind of think our world is just becoming a giant mixture of things. Just quite the mix. This and other little poem I have here. Like milk in iced coffee after the stir, you can never unstir. What do I do with this mixture? It's what I've been asking myself here. What do I do with this mixture? What do I do? Here's just a quote from the play Arcadia. In an island, mess that up immediately. In an ocean of ashes, islands of order, patterns making themselves out of nothing. And yeah, there is something kind of interesting about that, you know, how you can put some information into the system, and if it keeps feeding back into itself, it can become a set pattern. It's kind of how the structures of our worlds are created and ourselves and everything around are made out of little pattern structures, molecules and all that. Yeah. And how it's interesting. Okay, let's take like social media for an example, just for fun. How you take, say, like a new platform emerges, like a YouTube or a TikTok. People just use the product, and at first it's just kind of like this Wild West, it's chaotic. It just kind of does, I don't know, whatever its initial programming was intended for it to do. And it's just kind of like this mess. And then people add to it and they add to it and they add to it. And through this chaos of input, somehow some sort of ordered sense begins to emerge. Trends, patterns reveal themselves. And I don't know, it has me thinking a lot about this kind of connection, where we think a lot about like order unraveling into chaos, like this idea of entropy. But it seems also that chaos seems to birth order in a way as well, where something that can initially seem patternless and chaotic, over time and through measurements and through the noticings of the trends, you can see these patterns emerge, and you can start to see, maybe there is something a little more ordered, a little more, I don't know, intentional about it. So there's something a little more intentional to it, perhaps. Or perhaps that only arrives after the kind of swirl of chaos has been percolating for a while. I don't know. I find that interesting, though, how both systems of order devolve into this just confusion and chaos, and yet systems that begin initially in chaos can suddenly begin to have order and pattern to them through all of these chaotic random inputs. Very interesting. So that's what I've been kind of doing with my journal. That was kind of those are kind of the ideas I've been thinking about and exploring this month, just in general, just in my bullet journal. And so that's kind of, those are kind of the ideas that I was thinking about. So basically I told myself, make it simple this month. And then I just ended up thinking, complicating it way too much. My order got a little chaotic. But yes, I will get that posted on Instagram soon, though. I'll get it posted. I will. Here's kind of like, I'll show you this. This is like an upcoming month or week that I haven't filled in yet. So, okay. But yeah. So that's what's going on there. I'll post the poems as well. I'll post the rest of those poems that I wrote, which are actually right here on Instagram. Let's see. Should I read the rest of them? Maybe I will. Okay. This is kind of the part one. You can never unstir. This is just on a piece of paper. Okay. This is how I do my journal prep. When I'm making a design, I just like put it on just office paper, and that's just what I start with. So I just ended up writing a bunch of poems though this time. Normally I only have one prep sheet. This time I have 3. So I told myself to keep it simple, and I was like, I'm just going to keep it real simple. Didn't happen. All right. You can never unstir, part 1. There is an odd mixture of cloudy and clear here. Milk over iced coffee just before the stir. Then after, you can never unstir. In Arcadia, ever after. the jam inputting of nature, the dance between chaos and order. At first suspended, then mixing forever. You can never unstir. Never. I mean, I guess unless we figure out how to unravel time, then I guess maybe you could. But we haven't gotten there quite yet. So until we understand the fourth dimension, unfortunately, once you stir, you can never unstir. Or maybe fortunately, maybe the world would be a little too chaotic if it was constantly stirring and unstirring itself. I don't know. Maybe it's a blessing in disguise. Okay. Let's see. Do I want to read? I think I read. Do I want to read? Maybe. I guess I already read those two. I guess I read 3. Did I read I read 3. I'll read the last one. Let's see. Feedback, part 4. This one's a little different than the others. Iterated algorithms. Begin with one pointer number, then processed for a new one, then fed back in through the process again, then watch the pattern form through the mechanism. That was me trying to kind of like poetify the idea of algorithms. I don't know. I don't know if it worked, but trying to reword it a little bit. Let's see. What else can I talk about? Because I talked about the subjects. Well, one thing else that I can talk about. So I am in magazines. My poetry is in a few magazines here. Well, okay. I only have this one so far. The others are still arriving in the mail. But in this magazine, I actually posted a log about this. I believe it's log number 4. No, 3 or 4. It was my wish came true and I didn't even know it. Because here's the thing. Is when this was being made, it was when I was kind of going through a bit of my, I don't know, my moment where I wasn't doing as smoothly. And I was really sad because I wanted to be involved. Here's Tiffany. Sorry, I'm trying not to get the glare on it. Human typewriters from around the world. And they were taking submissions. And I'd worked with the Instagram poetry community before, and I've been on a couple of my poems are in a couple episodes of this Hummingbird Blink podcast. I've added to a couple of times, but I was really, really sad that I didn't submit to the first edition of this magazine, which is essentially a tribute to the Instagram poetry community. It's actually really fun to be a part of online communities. I didn't really understand it before I started like trying to get involved and build my own sort of creative platform for myself. Then I started realizing, oh, this is actually pretty fun and pretty cool. Figure out how to do that. So I was really bummed out that I didn't get in it, but I still ordered the magazine because I was just like, oh, I just want to support, you know. And then what happened? You can watch my log about it as well. It's about my wish coming true. And then could add to the manifestation. Is it real conversation or not? Does it happen? Because I mean, I didn't even know that I was in this. And then I flipped through and I was just really sad about it because I really wished that I would have been, I don't know, in a more participatory state at the time. But, and I wish that I had gotten a poem in, but I'm in there. Look at me go. Here's my drawing, pizza drawing. One of my, and there's even a little feature written about me. Which is really nice. It's fun to see. My pizza poem. Ooh, can I remember it? I love the way you eat a pizza slice. All pepperoni cheese and glistening grease. Oh no, have I forgotten the rest? Bite by bite. Bite by bite. You make it look right. No. Bite by bite. You make it look nice. Bite by bite. You make it look right. To share a greasy pizza on the slippery edge of night. That's the poem accompanied with that art there. I remembered it. It took me a minute, but I remembered it. And let's see. And got my little capybara, which was my bullet journal from March. I can't. I think it was March. And then there's me and an art that I made. And then that's Jazz Marie. She is the editor and really cool poet as well. So I just think that I got to be right next to her. So anyway, I got into that, even though I didn't know I was there, but I did. So, and okay, maybe this could add to the like, is manifestation real conversation, you know, because I was thinking how I wished that I had submitted a poem, but I did submit some poetry for issue 2. I did the contest, and both of my poems, it was like 2 parts to the contest, and I won. My poems won. I was so excited because I did put effort into it, and I made art and everything for it. And so my poems in issue number 2 of Dippity magazine, I have the beginning poem and the ending poem. So I'm very excited about that as well. Got another little write-up feature. And I also sent another poem. Just, I don't know. That one didn't get put in, but I'm wondering if it's going to be put into the reprint of this initial edition. So, interestingly enough, there are a few things that editor Jazz wanted to change and add. And so basically I got my wish twice. I was sad. I wished I was in this. I wished I could have been in the initial Instagram poetry magazine community magazine. And you know what? My poem might not have been in there, but I was. And I didn't even know it. And then all of a sudden now we're getting a reprint, and one of my poems is getting put into it now. So it's like double wish come true. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it works. Maybe just not in the way. Maybe there's a science to it. Maybe not. I don't know. That's something I'd like to know, but I don't know if it can be known. But once I get my other magazines, I will add to those. I think I'll post my little feature on Instagram as well. I was thinking I would do that. So I'll post it so you can read those or see those later. But yeah, lots of cool poets in here doing lots of cool stuff. You know, I follow a lot of them on Instagram. So lots of cool people. I suggest it. All right. So look at this art. Look at this dino skull that I made. I'm actually pretty proud of it. Because one of the poems is dinosaur themed, T-Rex themed. So I made an art to go along with it. I like my dino. And here's like an exploded 4-leaf clover exploding with sparkles that I did for my other poem. But yes, there it is. Look at that. What else did I want to talk about? I should probably be done soonish, so I'm not talking everybody's ears off. Though I am grateful for your presence. If you are here, thank you so much. A lot of the times I will end with, I think I might want to talk a little bit about a couple of other things going on. Just very quickly. I finished this book. If you watched my last live stream, which was a while ago, I apologize. I kind of got scared away for a minute. I had to really think about the vulnerability aspect, but I'm back. So there you go. Sometimes people be scary, but you still gotta do the things that call your heart. And let's see. I finished this book though, The Making Comics by Linda Berry. And I actually have a friend who that I met, an art friend that I met on Instagram, who actually was in Linda Berry's class. And I gotta say, I was so jealous. I was like, oh, wow. That would be amazing, because let's see, this book has such a refreshing, just like way about it, you know, the ways that Linda Berry like celebrates imperfection and loves all of these like children's drawings, and she just finds the art in them, and these ideas of like one thing that I noticed is whenever she's drawing like a sketch of herself, she always, because I find most of the time people try to make themselves, you know, flattering, maybe a more flattering sort of exaggeration, but she'll do stuff like, you know, she'll draw in double, triple chins, her long, knotted, braided ponytail just blowing in the wind, you know, a loose cigarette dangling out of her character's twisted mouth. Like, she draws these characters in these like a very unflattering kind of way, but I really like it, you know. And in seeing her appreciation of kind of like the imperfections of people, it really inspired me quite a lot to be like, wow, there's really something to that, you know. There's something to this idea of celebrating imperfection and going out of your way to even like highlight those features and celebrate them even. I wrote about that in my journal, one of my other journals. I wonder if I could find it. Maybe I can. But it's like, it's really interesting because it's like a bunch of drawing exercises and comic making exercises, but interwoven, she has these story elements and almost like poetic moments and ideas that she shares. And it's a really good read. So Making Comics by Linda Berry. I finished that finally. I was really taking my time. I find that when I'm really like savoring a book, I'll read the pages multiple times in a row and I'll just really dig in. Hold on. Sorry. Ugh. Trying to see if I can find my. Oh, God. Sorry. I'm being too scandalous right now. Okay. I'm just trying to find my journal. Okay. None scandal. I wonder if I can find what I wrote about Linda Berry. Because maybe I could end with that. I don't know, though. I wrote like a lot. That's the problem. So I've been writing a lot in my journals. So I'm like, which journal even is it? Is it this one? I think it's this one. Or is it the other one? Is it the one before? I don't know. I've been writing so much. Okay. It might be this one. Is it this one? I don't know. But basically, I just really appreciate the way that she celebrates imperfection. I like that. I think that's good. And I like the way that she says that like anyone can draw. And in fact, she actually prefers people who maybe don't know how to draw or who haven't picked up drawing in a long time. And another thing that I really noticed that was really weird is basically I went through just naturally the exact process she described in this book. When I was reading it, I was like, holy cow, this is how I started drawing again, was I did exactly that, where I just wanted to draw monsters. And that's one thing that she says is just draw monsters. Just make a shape, draw whatever, and then just let it be. Just let it flow out of your brain. And that's exactly how I started drawing again, because I wanted to draw. My whole life I've always been interested in art and I've always liked it, but I kind of put it away for a while because I was trying to focus on other things and other skills, and I just didn't know if I was good enough. So I put it away for a long time. But when I picked it back up, that's exactly what I did, though, is I would just draw a shape and then I would just see what happened. And it was really fun. And that made me want to start drawing again. So I did, you know, and I really appreciate the way that she kind of, she says anyone can draw. And in fact, she prefers people who maybe don't draw or feel like they can't draw, because she says that people that come back to drawing have like, and maybe don't know how, have like an increased level of creativity because they're not held to the same rules that, say, professional artists would be. So I find that interesting. Yeah. Gosh, I've just written, seriously, I have filled 3 journals over the past several months. I've been writing so much. It's a lot, actually. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to find what I wrote about Linda Berry. I want to, though. If I could even just remember which journal it was even in. I thought it was in this one, actually. Maybe it's not. Okay, well, so that's one that I wrote or read. I think I talked about this one already, too. One of the YouTubers, Campbell Walker, Your Head as a Houseboat. It's really quite a good, it's basically, got a lot of cool art, and it's like a self-help. It's like the basics of psychology. So if you ever wanted to learn like the basics of self-help psychology in like a digestible and like not pretentious or woo-woo way, then this is a good choice, I think. Also lots of cool art. So, and also exercises to like, look at this little button. I'm trying to find my favorite page. Well, that's one of my favorite pages. Like, this is pretty cute. This is like the part about where you go and you find kid you and you talk to your kid self. Oh yeah, that's the one. I like that. I like that. That's the page. That's probably my favorite one. This is like the sock puppet octopus. That's my favorite page, probably, or pages. He's like the sock puppet octopus. And it's basically all of your internal critics and stuff that beat up on you, but it's just an octopus with a bunch of puppets. That's all it is. That's what's going on in your brain for reals. Let's see. Yeah, for reals. I also pulled this one out of, sorry, I'm getting a little unfocused. I also pulled this one out of storage, Daughters of Dead Sea. So this is a collection of poetry and journal entries from an artist that I quite like, who's also a friend of mine, Jenny Dalton. And I got this book some years back, and with a tarot reading even. That's what's in there. But I kind of have been taking this for like inspiration, you know, because also that project I was a little bit talking about earlier about rereading my old diaries or my blank books of my journey through self-understanding and spiritual explorations and things like that. I was reading this a lot at the time for the first journal that I wrote. that I really dove into. So I've been experiencing this weird sort of like time joining itself back together. I don't know. It's like you hear of time being cyclical and things like that and going through cycles. And so I guess I was experiencing kind of like a cycle from 10 years ago. And this is kind of like bringing it all together, you know? I don't know. It's a very weird sensation I've been experiencing lately. Very weird. Yeah. But it's very good. It's a good little, I don't know if you can even still get it, but she also signed it for me. Best wishes for a creative, successful future. Do I want to read a poem from here? Ooh, maybe if I can't find Linda, that thing that I wrote about Linda really quick, then I can end with that, possibly. One of Jenny's. Let's see. I feel like I know that I wrote about Linda, though, about reading that book. It's in here somewhere, but I wrote so much. Like, this is just September to November is this whole, or October. This is just October and November in this whole thing. Like, and even just the beginning of November. So really, this is like a month and a half of writing, and I just filled it all up. So I had a lot on my mind, you could say. I don't know if I'm going to find that. Maybe I can do, that's another thing that I've been thinking of doing, of making like a podcast focus, is like talking about books that I've read. Maybe doing a little review / overview and stuff. Like, that might be fun. Oh, hold on. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. That is my alarm. I shall end this. I didn't realize I was going to be talking so long. I'll pick something from Jenny. Oh, or maybe I should read one of my poems. You know what? Maybe I'll do that instead. Or should I? I don't know. You know what? I'll read something from Jenny. Okay. Okay, I'll read this one just because I enjoy the spirit of it, and then I'll call it a night. But I'll be back later. Okay. Entry 12, Chicago. Happy chatter of the affluent fills a Wrigleyville corner cafe. I am more apt to chat with the Cuban drifter. His long dreadlocks adorn a thick accent. We have broken speech about world music, symbols, societies, and souls. I left the happy chatter of the well-acquainted and got myself a stale, chewy slice at a nameless pizza hole. I ventured up Lakeshore Drive in a failed mission to find Great Lakes peace. So I found a sleepy marina off Fullerton and went car camping in Chicago. I just like that attitude and that sort of spirit. And while I'm figuring out what my next move is in this world and in this creative platform I'm creating of who knows what it will become, I'd like to keep up an attitude like that, you know. Love over pizza slices. Love over pizza slices. Sharing a slice of pizza on the slippery edge of night, or picking up a stale, chewy slice. And then maybe finding that you haven't found exactly what you're looking for. So might as well enjoy the night and go car camping on the edge of the city somewhere. That sort of spirit. And so I will continue on with just such a spirit of not knowing exactly where I'm going, but excited to see where it leads. Okay. Yeah, thanks for being here. Thanks for watching my live stream. I will maybe see you next time, hopefully. Bye.